Well, we've just arrived at the accommodation called the Vanpila. They actually say it's Vanpila, but it's spelt Vanpila. It's a small guest house that's recently opened up in Savannakhet. I actually found it on agoda.com, and I will put the link down in the description below. The accommodation really consists of one large open planned room downstairs. There's no reception or anything like that because it's a guest house, and there's I'm not sure whether she's staff or the lady that runs it that's inside taking a bit of a sleep at the moment. I've already been upstairs and filmed the rooms. There's 3 bedrooms. There's a large king size room and then a double room and then a smaller room. Obviously the prices vary depending on which room you decide to take. So open planned accommodation downstairs and then 3 bedrooms upstairs. It's got air conditioning, has Wi-Fi, there is no TV in the room and there is no safe, but we're only staying for one night. Nice little room, something different. I've not stayed here before, it's fairly new. I would say it's more guest house than hotel. They've only got 3 rooms, varying sizes. Shower area, it's only for one night. I think this room cost just over 600 baht. Whilst I'm waiting for my visa to be processed, which I've already handed in to the embassy this morning. I just chose here for somewhere different to where I stayed last time when I came to make my visa. Just thought I'd have a change. Nice view out the window of the garden. Nice and quiet apart from the dogs. A few dogs barking, but there's no noise from the road. So hopefully should get a good night's sleep tonight here. Quite a nice little room actually. Nice size double bed as well in here. I've already tried it. It feels quite comfortable. I'll know more after I've slept in it tonight. But it's got everything that you need for a short stay. I've noticed they've even got a kettle out here. So there's a kettle where you can make a drink and some complimentary coffee, water, tissues, of course. There's also Wi-Fi here as well. Unusual sink there with a bamboo water spout. Quite nice. And it looks like the shower's also the same. That's quite unusual, not seen that before. Nice little touch. The room's also got air conditioning as well. So simple accommodation but comfortable. So if you're only coming to Savannakhet for a short period of time, then this seems like a reasonable accommodation for the price they're paid. I think it was about 670 baht. It's actually positioned on quite a quiet street, so hopefully it's going to be nice and peaceful this evening to allow us to get some sleep. The bed feels very comfortable. As you can see, nice quiet road, not too much traffic running along it. Well, we just decided to come and have a walk down into town. It's not far from the guest house where we're staying. There's not really that much to do here in Savannakhet. I know this because I've been here before. There's not any nightlife as such. There's a few small bars and restaurants. I think the main people that tend to come to Savannakhet are people like myself that are using the Thai embassy to make a visa to go back into Thailand. This is where I made my first marriage visa. When we first got married, I came over to Savannakhet, made the visa just over a year ago because I make a non-O immigration visa, which allows me to enter I make actually a multi-entry. I should make this clear. There is a single entry which gives you 90 days, which I can also make, or you can make what they call a multi-entry, a little bit more expensive, 5,000 baht to make the multi-entry, but this allows me to go in and out of Thailand as many times as I wish for 1 year. So anyway, we're going to have a little walk around Savannakhet, the town. The street layout's a little bit unusual. It's all like a grid system really. They're all straight roads. I don't know if you can see that. So straight road in front of me, and then straight road behind, and the roads that run off either way are also very straight, so it's quite easy to find your way around here. But there isn't a lot here apart from small restaurants, as I say, a few small gift shops I think, but nothing exciting to do, to see or do, that I know to anyway. There is a market here, we've been told by the lady, so I don't know what time the market starts, but we're going to try and take a look at the market. Well, we're just walking down the road that runs parallel with the river. We decided to come in a little bit towards the town. There's not really a centre as such. Come across this quite nice little cafe. You can sit outside, some nice seatings inside. So as I say, it's small cafes and small restaurants that they have here in Savannakhet. A few places just to chill out while you're waiting for your visa to be made. Well, we've just decided to have something to eat, and we walked past a place called Lynn's Cafe. Quite a large menu. I did eat here before, last time I came to Savannakhet. Really good. Sell beer, soft drinks, coffees, etc. Got a large menu, as you can see. Quite a good choice of foods. They do pizzas, spaghetti, quite a bit of Thai food also on the menu. Breakfasts, they cover really quite a lot. One thing I like about this shop that I find quite unique is they actually serve the beer in an ice bucket, which is quite nice. They don't even do that in Thailand. I remember last time I came here I ordered a small beer and it came in a small ice bucket. I'm quite impressed with that. That was quite nice. Quite a nice little shop actually. It's quite easy to find, not far away from the river. It comes up on Google Maps. There's not that many cafes, coffee shops in Savannakhet, to be honest, but this is quite a nice one. Nice little position right next to the night market, so if you make your way towards the night market you're going to find this on the edge of the night market. We're going to go down to the night market a little bit later. It doesn't open till 4 o'clock, we've been told, so we'll probably come down here about 5:30, have a wander around the night market, and then we may have something to eat at the market. So this is the night market, Savannakhet night market. Only a few minutes walk from the river. So as I say, quite easy place to find. It's not that large, Savannakhet. Have a little wander around in the afternoon. A few tables outside if you wish to sit outside, or they've got air conditioning inside. Now what could be better than that? A nice large beer lao and a beef burger on its way. Yeah. Okay, well the food's just arrived, my burger's just come. Looks very nice, I have to say, beef burger. Well, should I say cheeseburger. But it's made from beef with some fries, some side condiments, mustard, ketchup, black pepper, etc. So that's quite nice. My wife's ordered the papaya salad lao, which has come, and it's quite large, to be honest. It's a lot larger than the ones we normally order in Thailand. I was quite surprised. Okay, well we've just finished lunch. It was very nice. Came to 143,000 kip, which worked out. We actually used the credit card to pay, so we paid on MasterCard, and they changed it over to dollar rather than paying in kip. So they charged us 143,000 kip, which was $16, with a 2.8% charge. So it wasn't too bad. The food is very nice there, I have to say. Very good menu. A nice church over the back here. I believe that's a Roman Catholic church because I went and had a look at that last time I was here, and I'm almost sure that it's a Roman Catholic, which quite surprised me to be in Laos. Obviously there is the Virgin Mary. Really pretty looking church. So somewhere to come and have a look. Got a little bit of time to pass away. The town itself is very much like any other town. Of course you've got the river, but there isn't really anything there that's been developed to get the benefit of the river. And then there's a few temples and churches in the town, and of course the night market. Well, good evening. We've just left the guest house. We're going to have a wander down to the night market. It's been raining for a few hours this afternoon, but it's sort of stopped. It's just spitting a little bit. The lady at the guest house, really nice. She's let my wife borrow a pair of flip-flops because she's come in a pair of like material trainers, and when they get wet they're just a nightmare. She got them wet yesterday, and then again it's threatening to rain again tonight, so the ladies let her borrow a pair of flip-flops and also give us an umbrella as well, so that was really cool of them. So overall the guest house is very good. It's only small, simple accommodation. There's no TV in the room, there isn't a safe, but you have all the necessary things. There's a nice comfortable bed, to be fair. The shower's a little bit unusual. It's an electric shower, but it's fed by a bamboo water spout, which I've not seen before, but it's quite novel. And also the sink's the same as well. So we thought we'd have a wander down now. Hopefully the weather's going to hold off. Have a look at the night market. As I've said earlier, there isn't a great deal to do in Savannakhet. It's a mixture of more of a laid back evening sort of thing, where you maybe have some food in a restaurant, a few drinks. There are a few small bars scattered around, nothing too much. It's certainly not a party town, but I'm looking forward to have a look around the night market. It's not that big from what I've seen of it today, but it looks okay. I've watched a few YouTube videos where people have done a few pieces on it, so there's going to be some different types of food there. We may eat at the market, we may decide to go to the Indian restaurant, we're not quite sure yet. Just one other thing that I wanted to mention, and I forgot to mention earlier, while I was at the embassy today, couple of people in front of me, there was one guy that had gone to the embassy to make a tourist visa, and they actually turned him away. Now I happened to speak to him afterwards because he was still hanging around. I think he was hoping to speak to somebody in charge. He did. I overheard him ask to see whether he could speak to somebody in charge there rather than the girl at the counter, but she was reluctant to pass him to anybody. Just said that they couldn't help him and that he wouldn't be able to make a visa that day at the embassy. So it's the first time I've actually been or heard of somebody being refused at the embassy of a tourist visa. I had a quick chat with him after I'd actually gone to the counter and come away, and I'd been able to make my visa, and I'm now waiting for it to be processed, and hopefully I should collect it tomorrow afternoon. I spoke to him briefly. He'd flown out from the UK on a tourist visa. He said that he hadn't been anywhere before, and he hadn't been to another embassy to make a visa. He'd been in Thailand 60 days and then extended it by 30 days at his local immigration office. I think he was staying in Bangkok, he said, and then he'd flown from Bangkok to here basically. He got tickets to prove that he was going to leave Thailand in 60 days once his tourist visa expired, but they said that they wasn't able to help him today. So it's just worth bearing in mind, if you're coming to Savannakhet for a tourist visa, then you may be disappointed. They may turn you away. I don't know what the current regulations are on the tourist visas. As I say, I'm here making a marriage visa, so that's slightly different now. I wasn't under any impressions that there were any problems making tourist visas, but I know they are clamping down on people that are having back-to-back tourist visas. And I did ask him if he'd been anywhere else before that, and he said no, but whether he has or not, I don't know, whether he was telling me the whole story. But he just said he'd come from the UK on a tourist visa and then came here to make another one. But obviously tourist visas are for the purpose of tourism. If you're living here or planning on staying any length of time, and you need more than one tourist visa, then this may become an issue when you try to make it at the embassy now, because they are clamping down on these type issues, because they're saying tourist visas are for tourists, and if you're staying here for 6 months, you're really not a tourist. So I don't make the rules, but I'm just explaining what I've seen today. And as I say, I was quite surprised because I've not seen that or heard that before. I'm just making our way now down towards the market. I've just seen there's a few shops here. Nothing much really, a few small souvenir shops. Nice little bar at the side of the market. It's not very busy. It looks okay to go in and chill out. A few hours, have a few beers, pass the evening away. Not quite sure this is a restaurant next door to that bar or another bar. May just be another bar. Yeah, it's a bar. It says on the window. So a couple of nice looking bars there. Come down in the evening, have a few beers. Another bar there, food and music. So large TV. Okay, it's not so bad. In the evening time, it's not too bad. You can find one or two things to do in the evening. Some food, a few drinks, pass an evening away here. Okay, well, we just come down to the river just before it gets dark, just so I can show you. There isn't really a lot down by the river, which is a bit of a shame that they haven't done a little bit more somewhere for people to sit. There's no real restaurants along the actual river bank that I know of. I think there might be one or two, but there's not many, and certainly not in this area. There's a small bar here. You can come and have a few drinks, sit on the terrace at the top. You can see that in the evening time if the weather allows it. Today is not really the ideal night, should I say evening. Not really the right evening for sitting outside. As you can see, lots of black cloud. We've had some heavy rains, thundering still at the moment. It's not a place to come for partying, but there's a few small bars, restaurants. You can have a more laid back, pleasant evening. Pass a few hours away. Probably not a great place to come for a 2-week holiday, but for a few days, it's quite nice. And it's no more expensive than Thailand. I wouldn't say I'm finding Laos a lot more cheaper than Thailand, because it's not. It's sort of around the same price, to be, if I'm honest. The food sort of price is about the same as what I would pay in Thailand, so it's not a lot cheaper. Maybe a little bit, but not any substantial amount, so you're not going to be saving a massive amount. The accommodation, again, not really much cheaper than in Thailand, so personally I think I would prefer Thailand over Laos, but I don't have a lot of experience in Laos. I've only come to Savannakhet. This is my second time, so of course I don't have a lot of experience of other places, but from what I've seen, it's about the same cost-wise as what you'd pay in Thailand. Okay, well, we've just arrived down at the night market in Savannakhet. Unfortunately, the weather's now not so good. It's raining. It's not a large market, mainly food. Quite a few stalls here selling various different types of noodle. I've noticed there's also some dim sum down here. Not very busy tonight, of course, because of the weather. Not great. Dim sum store here. Looks quite nice, the dim sum. Pancakes, if anybody wants pancakes. Some pancakes and a waffle shop. Waffles. Seems to be very quiet tonight here. Not a massive market, but there's a few stalls here. I would imagine when it's dry there'd be a few more stalls open and slightly larger choice. As you can see, the weather's not great this evening, so there's not that much choice this evening. Well, there seems to be quite a few restaurants around the market area, so obviously this is the area that you need to come and make your way to if you're looking for some food. Around this area there's plenty of restaurants, a few small bars as well. We're not too far away from the river either, so this is quite a good area. Well, unfortunately the rain has decided to come back, so we've come back into Lynn's Cafe. Looks like we're going to have a pizza, but we're not in any rush. I've just ordered a beer. I'm going to sit here for a little while, see what the weather's doing. Now that looks a nice pizza. I'm going to enjoy this. Good pizza. Well, good morning from Savannakhet. It was quite a pleasant evening last night. Just spent a little time in Lynn's Cafe. The weather wasn't great. I managed to take a few shots around the night market. The accommodation was quite comfortable, not overly comfortable. A couple of things I noticed yesterday evening that I didn't mention in the video is there's no fridge in the room, so for short periods it's fine. You know, the accommodation's quite comfortable for 1 or 2 nights. Probably for longer stays it wouldn't be so comfortable not having the fridge. You've got nowhere to store cool drinks. There's also no safe in the room as well. I'm not sure whether I mentioned that or not. We're just on our way now down into Savannakhet to take a bit of breakfast. It's just before 10 o'clock. We've got to wait till 2 p.m. this afternoon before I can go back to the Thai consulate to collect my visa. Hopefully everything will be okay there, and then we will make our way back over the Friendship Bridge and back into Thailand. The other thing I've noticed here in Savannakhet, there doesn't seem to be any convenience stores such as 7-Eleven and Family Marts. Now, one thing in Thailand, these are everywhere, and it's something that you really take for granted, to be honest. You don't really think about it. And the other thing is small vendors selling food side of the roads. Again, in Thailand they're everywhere. You know, virtually on every street you can find somebody selling some type of food, so that you don't have to wander far from your accommodation wherever you're staying to be able to find food and drink at a very reasonable price. But here in Savannakhet, I don't know whether it's typical of the whole of Laos or whether it's just here in Savannakhet, but there doesn't seem to be any convenience stores, and there's no small vendors selling food at the side of the road. The only small vendors that I saw was at the night market yesterday evening. There was only a few open due to the weather, I suppose. So small things that you don't pick up to start with, but I've noticed if you're coming here to Savannakhet, I haven't seen any, well, none at all, 7-Elevens or Family Marts. It's obviously something they don't have out here. If you're coming over here for any length of time, then this is something that you're going to miss, and you will notice. If it's only for 1 or 2 days, then it's not so. Oh, my wife's just seen a Family Mart.
No, Mini Mart.
Oh, Mini Mart, sorry. So they do have the occasional convenience stores, but they're certainly not readily available like they are in Thailand. They're everywhere you go. There's probably half a dozen on each street. Well, this looks like the local convenience store, so not quite the same as what you're going to find in Thailand with the 7-Elevens and Family Marts. A little bit smaller in size. That's just one I've noticed, but there's quite a few now that looks like they're opening up this morning. There's a barber shop. Also some more food stalls. Swadee. Hello. So as you can see, there is a little bit more life in the daytime compared to the evening. It just seems that everywhere closes quite early. So it's just something to bear in mind if you're coming over here and staying. Well, we've just finished breakfast at Lynn's Cafe. We decided to come here again because it's easy to pay on the credit card rather than having to draw a small amount of money out at one of the banks. There's not that many banks around in Savannakhet that I've noticed. The lady did tell us about one bank that would accept all cards. Most of the ATMs over here don't accept every single card, so you have to hunt around to find out which ones will accept your card. Now, as I've walked down into Savannakhet, I have actually noticed a few small food vendors that wasn't about last night. Maybe the weather, or maybe they just close early, but it's certainly not got the amount of food vendors on the side of the roads like you have in Thailand, as I mentioned earlier. But there does seem to be a few about in the daytime. Just now making our way back up to the hotel to check out at 12 o'clock. And then once we've done that, we shall hang around until probably about 1:30, when we've got a taxi booked to pick us up from the hotel to take us up to the Thai consulate, where I shall go and collect my visa. If everything is in order, then we shall make our way to the Friendship Bridge back into Thailand. We're staying another night in Mukdahan. Seems to be a lot of tuk-tuks about this morning if you're looking for a taxi tuk-tuk. But again, at the evening time, they seem to all disappear. There's not so many about in the evening time. Just walking back to our hotel now, I've noticed a few stalls opened up, selling various local food dishes. Not quite as many as you find in Thailand, literally hundreds really in Thailand, but there are a few here, so it's not so bad in the daytime. But at night time, just seems that everywhere closes quite early. I have noticed there are quite a lot of guest houses and hotels here. That's one thing I have noticed yesterday and today. Seems to be a good choice of accommodation. The only thing I would say is, to my knowledge, there isn't a great deal to do in Savannakhet itself. Something I've also noticed walking about this morning and yesterday afternoon is there doesn't seem to be that many motorbike rental places. So if you're coming out here and looking to rent a motorbike, then don't appear to be as easily found as what they do in Thailand. My wife says she has seen one yesterday, but I must admit I haven't noticed any yesterday myself, and I haven't noticed any this morning walking down into the town. So I'm sure there are a few, but there's certainly not as many motorbike rental, scooter rental shops as what there is in Thailand. Well, I thought I'd just give my final thoughts on the accommodation. We've just checked out. We're now just sitting here waiting for the taxi to arrive. Overall, I found the accommodation to be very nice, very comfortable. It's fine for short stays. I wouldn't recommend it for longer stays, because I did notice there's no fridge in the room, which I didn't initially notice when we checked in. It's no deal breaker. If you're only staying here for a day or two, then that's fine, but obviously if you're staying here for longer periods of time, then a fridge is useful to keep some cool drinks in, etc. So there's no fridge, there's no TV also, but again, that's no deal breaker. I didn't miss the television whatsoever. I don't really watch a lot of TV anyway. They have very good Wi-Fi here. I found no problem using the Wi-Fi in the room. So again, you can use your mobile phone, watch YouTube or whatever you decide to watch to pass some time away if you're in your room. The weather hasn't been great, but we've managed to get out and about. The town's not massive, but overall the accommodation is very suitable for short stays. The host is very welcoming and friendly. She's been very helpful. She supplied my wife with a pair of flip-flops yesterday evening because it was raining, and my wife's shoes that she's bought with that material, so of course they get wet, soaked through. Mine wasn't too bad, so my wife borrowed a pair of flip-flops from the host, and she also supplied us with an umbrella. So the host is very friendly, very helpful. Overall the combination is good. The shower works well, there's hot water, the air conditioning works very well in the room, and as I've said, the Wi-Fi is also very good. There's a large open plan area downstairs. There was a kettle in the room, supplied tea and coffee complimentary, so that was a nice touch. You don't even find that in some of the larger hotels, so I thought that was quite good. So in the evening time it's very peaceful, very easy to sleep. So there's no issues there. It's not really that busy in the daytime, as you can hear. There's not really much passing traffic, the occasional car and motorbike, and that's about it really. So it's quite a good location. So if you're coming over to Savannakhet, then maybe you want to take a look at this accommodation. It was reasonably cheap. It was just over 600 baht for one night. There isn't any breakfast included, but there are a few places locally where you're going to be able to find some breakfast, so again, it's not necessarily a deal breaker. So Savannakhet overall, it's a reasonably nice town, much like any other town. There's things going on in the daytime, you know, there's small shops open, convenience stores, etc. However, sort of 6 o'clock in the evening onwards, it does go very quiet. There is a nightly market in the town, which starts about 4 o'clock in the afternoon and runs till about 9 o'clock in the evening. But again, this is weather dependent. yesterday evening wasn't a good evening, so there wasn't many stalls open that I found. I did do a little bit of filming around there, but there wasn't a lot to film because it was pouring down with rain at one stage quite heavily, so I suppose the market vendors don't bother to open up. There's not a great deal happening at night. There's a few nice restaurants that you can go and have a meal, have a drink, but that's about it really in Savannakhet that I know to, that I could see and find. There's a couple of temples scattered around the town that may be of interest to go and have a look if you're just looking to pass some time away, but not really any tourist attractions as such. Transport, taxis seem readily available in the daytime, but again in the evening time they seem to all disappear. There's not many tuk-tuks about at night time. Okay, well, we've just left the guest house and we're now making our way up to the Thai embassy. We've got a tuk-tuk that's arrived at the hotel that we booked. The same guy yesterday brought us to the hotel. We've got him to come down and pick us back up. So we're just making our way up there now. Hopefully 2 o'clock I'll get my passport back with the visa in it. And then we will make our way over to the Friendship Bridge, cross back into Thailand. Okay, well, we've just arrived outside the Thai embassy. But oh. Okay. Okay. Well, I'll keep my eye. Are you sure? Huh? Well, I've got my cameras in mine, so okay. Okay, we're just trying to sort out the taxi, so to take us from the embassy. Once I've got my passport, we've got to then go up to the Friendship Bridge. The taxis are sort of, they vary in price, but my wife's just been chatting to him. We've managed to get from the hotel to the embassy and then from the embassy up to the bridge. It's going to cost us a total of 250 baht. So yesterday it was 200 baht from the bridge to the embassy, and then 100 baht from the embassy to the hotel, so 300 baht. So we've saved 50 baht today, not a great deal. So we're just now waiting till 2 o'clock when we can retrieve our I can retrieve my passport just currently now outside the embassy. There's a bit of a queue already. It's only a small place. Up until quite recently it used to be the ideal place to come because it was quite quiet, but now because of problems at the other embassies, now we're getting the overspill come to Savannakhet. So on some days there's as many as 400 people waiting in a queue, I've heard. I haven't seen it myself. Yesterday the queues were quite reasonable. I think there was about 25 people in front of me yesterday waiting to give in their application, and then you can see there's a few people here today waiting for the collection of their passports. Not too many, so it's not too busy today. I've heard that Tuesdays and Thursdays are the quieter days. Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays can be very busy, but of course this will change and vary depending on who's coming to make the visas. The embassy itself is quite easy to find. It's on the main road coming down from the Friendship Bridge heading towards Savannakhet town. There's a few shops, places to eat, coffee, etc. if you want to do that before you go into the embassy or when you come out. There's plenty of taxis because obviously they know tourists are coming here for the embassy, so they're trying to get customers. Of course the prices will vary on the taxis. You need to barter with the taxis and try and get them down. If you tend to walk away, they tend to drop the price because they don't want to lose the customers, but it's not always guaranteed. Okay, well, I've managed to get the visa from the Thai consulate, no problems, they've issued the visa. We've now come through the border in Laos. We're just waiting for the bus now to take us over the Friendship Bridge to take us back into Thailand, where I shall go back through the immigration system there and then make our way down into Mukdahan. I happened to bump into the guy that had the problem yesterday with his tourist visa, and he waited a little while, and the lady that was on the counter obviously went on break and a new guy came, so he took his chance and went back up to the counter when the new guy was there, and apparently they took the application. So it seems that it just depends when you're applying for a visa who you get on the day and what mood they're in. Obviously that lady was trying to make his life a little bit complicated. The guy that came back to the counter after the lady sort of took the application, he was just going back in as I was coming out to see if they'd issued him his visa, but I think they will have done if they've took the application in. So it just shows you that sometimes perseverance may pay off, so that if you get knocked back, maybe not walk away straight away, wait a little while and then try again. The bus tickets are 50 baht each to come back over to the bridge, which you should get once you pass through the Laos immigration. As you walk through, you'll see the ticket office on your interest you, the chance to catch that buzz. I think they run one about every hour or 40 minutes, 45 minutes or so. We're now starting to make our way back over the Friendship Bridge and back into Thailand. Well, I hope you've enjoyed the video, found it informative and helpful, and if so, please do give it a thumbs up, maybe share it on your social media. Don't forget to check out the description down below the video. There's some links in there to my affiliates which might be able to save you some money if you're booking a hotel, etc., or a day trip. All my social media links are in the description. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, then please do consider subscribing. Lots of useful information whether you're a tourist or you're living out in Thailand. So this is a great place to start to learn about Thailand in general. So as always, thanks for watching the video, and until next time, I'll catch you on the next one.